Welcome to the Two Tone Podcast. My name is Jalen Kale. Alongside me, we got.
Yo, Kale.
Okay, we're gonna get this intro eventually, and pretty much the reason that we're starting this podcast is because me and TT are kind of delving into the creative zone. Trying to make a name for ourselves. Me making music and clothes and art and stuff like that, and little TT over there. What you doing?
Making movies.
Making movies, writing movies. You got anything out?
Got one out right now. It's called The Night Shift. And I got another one in the works right now
Where can we find the night shift at?
on YouTube.
All right, bet. Check it out. YouTube.com/GlassHouseFilms8. Um, I did some of the music for it, TT, and I wrote it. And yeah, it's nice seeing somebody else delve into the creative side of life. And let's get into this song real quick. All right, so the Two Tone Podcast. You might be wondering why is it called the Two Tone Podcast, seeing as we look the same, but we are half American. We are fully American. My stupid ass. We are fully American, but we are African Americans, biracial. There you go. That's the word I was looking for. Two separate tones. But yeah, pretty much starting the podcast, just trying to document our trials and tribulations into the world of media and music and film and whatnot, and the two of those together. But TT, what you been doing recently? I know you said you got the night shift out, working on the night shift, more of a horror film. Are
Yeah.
you looking to stay in that same genre, or are you looking to make a leap to something different?
As of right now, I'm gonna stay in the genre. But in the future, I hope to get out of it at some point.
Now, what about the horror genre entices your focus? What's the driving force behind making a horror movie?
Uh, I just like horror films. Always have.
What about horror do you like though?
Uh, I like how a lot of the people that get into movies, they like the horror films because, like, say you want to become a special effects person. Most special effects people get into special effects because they like horror films, and so
So it's pretty much just like the popularity of horror.
yeah.
Okay, that kind of makes sense. Um,
But I also like the different ways people can get scared.
yeah, there are different. There's a lot of variation within horror itself. You got like psychological. You got your gore. You got slashers. All that kind of stuff. It is kind of a broad spectrum of uh, possibilities that could happen within the movie. But the night house, the night the night house, the late shift. Goodness,
The
I don't
night
even know.
shift.
I don't even know what I was thinking. The night shift. What kind of horror would you say that is?
Um, let's say it's a suspense horror,
Okay, okay.
psychological ish.
It is a little psychological. That's how I would have described it. Um, when it comes to horror, I'm not really one for like more of the blood and gore kind of thing. I like a good thriller. What you think about a thriller?
Thrillers are good. Um, the thriller and the horror genre are very, very close to each other.
So you wouldn't necessarily categorize a thriller as a horror movie. Kind
There's
of.
like very minute differences between horror and thriller. Like thriller, you got in thriller, it's more of what you don't see, and horror is more of what you see. But that's
Okay, okay.
literally the only difference.
That makes a lot of sense. I'm about to say I'm usually not one for all the blood and gore and all that shit. I could give or take all that, but I like a good movie that makes you think.
Yeah.
But all right. So, you said you got the night shift and you're working on another one right now.
Yep.
Uh what vein of what's the genre we're reaching for with this one?
Uh, Horror genre still.
Okay, okay. What
Uh,
kind of horror?
it's a thriller slash psychological
Do you
horror.
have a premise for it yet?
Yeah. The- you
Let
want
the
me
people know a little bit.
so it's based in the apocalyptic times. Um, and this guy get he breaks into a house trying to find supplies for himself. Finds a walkie-talkie, and he's switching through the channels, and finds he finds a channel of people that are talking, and so he starts talking to them, but he doesn't really realize that it's just all in his mind, and there's people him making it's him making the idea of people being there, basically, that aren't
So,
there.
okay, okay. I see what you're saying. Kind of like a post-apocalyptic kind of stuck in a like a house or something, or he's just like kind of in the middle of nowhere and he finds his walkie-talkie and then
Yeah, basically.
okay, so he just starts talking to people, or he finds a signal that works or something.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, that could be interesting. Um, onto myself. I know it's kind of an abrupt little whatchamacallit.
Transition.
There you go. That's the word. But yeah, into myself. My name is Jalen Kale, as I said, obviously. And yeah, I've been making music for about, um, I'd say 6 or 7 years now. I don't know. I started back in sophomore year of high school. That's all I remember. Me and this kid, one of my friends, Kyle Baston, shouts out. We started a band called Lighthouse Landing with another one of our friends, Curtis, and we all continued playing through high school. And Kyle eventually moved out to Florida, so I'm still in Indy, and I just been making music by myself ever since. Um, just released a new album, the Trash Can Collection. It's not really new; it dropped last year, but that's neither here nor there. Go listen to it, check it out. Linktree is scrolling down on the bottom there. Um, but with regards to music and movies as a collective, within the horror genre, I feel like the music within the horror genre is really what makes or breaks the film.
Yeah. I mean, you can't have like an upbeat type of soundtrack and have a horror film at the same time. I mean, like you can have some songs that are upbeat, but you can't have the whole thing be upbeat.
That'd be interesting to see if somebody could make a horror movie that doesn't really feel like a horror movie, like with the score wise.
Yeah.
Because some of like the more childish horror movies, I wouldn't necessarily say childish, but like the animated ones like Coraline and Nightmare Before Christmas, those Tim Burton kind of movies, they have more of like a little playful
Yeah.
kind of score to them than really scary. I find that interesting. Um okay, so with regards to making movies outside of horror, what would you say would be your next swing outside of the horror genre?
Um,
Or what do you find most enticing outside of the horror genre? Not necessarily that you have to make one, but what's another genre that really captures your attention?
historical fictions.
Those are pretty good. What's a couple historical fictions that you like?
Um, there's one on Netflix, and it's about Jesus Christ. I forget what the name of it is. Here, wait, let me look it up real quick.
Okay, so while he looks it up, I'm gonna tell you about a couple of my past albums. So Kyle and I released an album, I believe sophomore year of high school, called Basement Tapes. He's the drummer. I did the piano and the guitar, and I think I think we went about half and half on singing that one. But uh, as I said, Kyle moved out, and then I released my first solo project called Fruitless Loops. It was like sophomore going into senior year of high school. Or no, it was senior year going into the next year after high school would have been Kyle's freshman year at college. Um, but he had given me his iPad, and so I started messing around on GarageBand, checking out what all I could do in there. Came up with a set of like 6 songs, I think, 5 or 6 songs, I can't remember. But released that, and then I did my next full length album. It's called Wire Words Hard. Uh, Again, did that on the iPad. Did that, produced it, edited all that wonderfulness. I did all the singing on that. But recently, I just haven't had the motivation to get into live performance and all that stuff. So I'm kind of looking into getting into scores and video game music and stuff like that. I'm actually gonna release an EP here soon with some of my more video game type beats and stuff like that. So I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna call it yet. You got the name of that movie, TT?
Yeah,
Hit us with it real quick.
it's called The Pale Blue Eye.
Who's in that one?
It's I wouldn't uh so it's based on Edgar Allan Poe and this guy, this like detective dude,
Okay, okay.
and Edgar Allan Poe is in like is in the military academy, and this detective dude trying to figure out there was a killing at some point in it, and the guy's trying to figure out who killed him and like what the backstory is behind the killings and stuff.
Is it from the perspective of Edgar Allan Poe, or is it?
No, it's from the perspective of the detective, but Edgar Allan Poe's part of it.
Okay, interesting.
And it's on Netflix if you want to watch it.
What did you say it was?
The Pale Blue Eye.
Pale Blue Eye. Okay, I'll have to check it out.
It's pretty cool.
I must say, I know Sage likes historical stuff like that too. Might have to check it out. But to this, the movie of the week you gave me, The Secret Window. What's that all about?
All right, so Secret Window. That is a film about this writer, and he's written multiple books, and so at one point during the film at the beginning, this guy comes, knocks on his door, tells him that he stole his idea, and so they have this whole argument about how he never steals ideas. He's never read uh, anybody else's writings, basically, and so he's trying to prove that he hasn't stolen anything. And while he's trying to do that, his wife and him and his wife gotten divorced before the film even starts. So they've gotten divorced. His wife's already dating another dude, and so he's asking his wife if he can grab the book to prove that he didn't steal the dude's idea and that he wrote it himself.
So it's pretty much just like the Johnny Depp character is the main character, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like he has this idea for a book, and then somebody else finds it somehow.
Yeah.
Or does he release the book?
He released the book, and then the guy comes and knocks on his door. It's like, you stole my idea.
Oh, okay.
But he's like, I released it before you even wrote it, and so he's like trying to prove that this all. And during that, he realizes that the person that's came to him was a figment of his imagination and wasn't actually anything. It was just a character that he's created.
Oh, so bro's almost like schizophrenic.
Yeah, and then he like trashes his own house and all this stuff, and like kills his ex-wife and her boyfriend and everything.
Damn, spoiler alert. He kills his ex-wife, goddamn. That is crazy as fuck. It seems interesting.
You should definitely watch it. It's on. I think it's on.
It's on Netflix, yeah. But okay. On to the album of the week. You listen to much new music, T2?
Not really, but just depends on what type of music it is.
Okay, so this album that I chose is by this group, it's a duo called Domi and JD Beck. Domi is French.
Okay.
And she plays the piano. She's got one of those pianos as a 2-level. So like one plays a synthesizer.
So like a organ type of.
Yeah, and she's also got the foot pedals underneath to play like the bass notes and everything. It's really interesting to watch her play. But she's like this 5'2" little ass French girl, and it's amazing that she can play the piano so well. But she teamed up with this guy from the United States named JD Beck, and he's like this really futuristic like jazz musician. I think you would really get into their music because you like more of the older big band jazz kind of stuff. It's kind of like that, but it's only 2 people. So it's really interesting to see how they can create this such a full sound just between the 2 people. But It's really interesting, like jazz fusion kind of stuff. Like the first time you listen to it, it's going to be like, what am I even listening to? But then, you sit down, you listen to it a couple more times, and you're like, oh, this is a fucking bop.
Yeah.
But, go check out Domi and JD Beck's new album. It's called Not Tight. Wherever you find music, really. But back into the creative process. So when you're sitting down to write a new movie, TT, what is one of the first things that you do within? So are you more of a sit down, get the script written out, sit down, get some ideas flowing, let it come to you? What do you do?
Usually the ideas come to me before I even sit down. So I'll get the idea, and then once I sit down, I'll just start blocking it out, trying to figure out how to put it together and make it a film.
That's a lot what I do with music too. Like I'll be sitting at work just, slinging them chicken fingers as we do.
Yeah.
And just a little melody will pop in my head, and sometimes I'll even just hum it into my phone, record it real quick just so I don't forget it, and then come home and see what sounds would make that melody even better, But with regards to writing, I feel like I've always been like a decent writer. I wouldn't say I'm great or nothing, but if you give me like a scaffolding for the story to follow, I can most times make the story pretty decent within the middle.
Yeah.
So, what do you think is the most difficult part in writing? Do you struggle with just getting like a concept from your brain into the script, or do you struggle more with like making it look pretty in a sense?
More of making it look pretty. I do have a difficult time on trying to figure out how to end a film.
Yeah, I feel like the ending of films really makes or breaks it because I can't tell you how many times I've like paid to go into a movie and the ending is just like, what the fuck even happened? I don't even
Yeah.
understand the movie.
But yeah, it's more of making it look pretty cuz in my mind I see what the story's about, but then I have all these like little details that I want, but it's hard to like put that on paper
I can
and
understand
like
that.
get other people to understand what I'm trying to say. Or yeah, basically all
I
that
must say, a
stuff.
lot of times in like physical art, I feel like it's difficult to get what you had in your brain onto like the canvas and stuff like that. I feel like a lot of people struggle with that. They have a sense that they're a really good artist, and then they sit down and draw a giraffe, and it looks like just a fucking stack of tires on a horse, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but I just find it interesting the process of writing because I've always liked writing, but it's never something that I've really thought that I could delve into to make into a career. But now, noticing now that, well, not now, but me and Kyle have been making films for, well, not films, but little short movies forever. But we'd always just do it like off the cusp, you know, never really had a script unless it was one of Kyle's shorts.
Yeah.
But I always found it interesting the process of writing and the process of getting a script together.
That's kind of what I need to start doing. I need to start making films off the cusp and stop trying to punch out script after script after script. I just need to do what, like, just randomly one day, just start filming.
I'm about to say, I feel like a lot of the film industry, well, not necessarily the industry, but the art of filming and the art of making movies and stuff is more of just figuring out what you're good at and like knowing your equipment and stuff like that. Because within GarageBand, as like my example, there was so much stuff that I could do in GarageBand that I had no idea I could do. Like when me and Kyle were just recording straight from our guitar, straight from the drums or something. There's like so many little nuances that you can put into the sound of your recording or just like the sound of some instrument that you have. But in movies and stuff, I always fucking struggle with the cameras. There's so much extra shit that you can do on cameras that I have
Yeah.
no idea what to do.
Like,
I I just set that bitch up, press record, and hope it looks good. You know.
yeah. Um, being a director type of person, you have to find a lot of people around though that know how to do all that stuff.
Yeah, I feel like there is a big sense of community both in music and in film because I've gone to a couple open mics and you can definitely tell like the people that know each other, they know each other and they hang out, you know. And I'm sure it's like that within the film community and stuff.
Yeah. Um, but like I couldn't tell you the first thing about editing. I mean, I could probably learn how to do it, but right now
I'm
it's
about to
just
say you
like
did you did you did the trailer and it looked pretty good.
yeah. Also like with um so if you don't know this, I am colorblind. So using LUTs, like how the light is on people,
Uh-huh.
that is so fucking difficult. It's crazy.
I never even had thought about that, but I see how that could be a little difficult.
Because you just have to have the right amount of, like, you have to have the right type of colors in the light and
The right
everything.
tones on people. You
Yeah,
got some bright ass light on like some person that's pasty white.
yeah. And it's a lot. That's just like being colorblind and trying to mess with colors is not my forte.
Yeah, I could see how that is could be very frustrating.
So that's why I, if I can, I'll try and find somebody that knows.
Have a
They're-
little producer's assistant or a director's assistant or whatever.
Yeah.
I could see that. Um, so with with the night shift, um, for those of y'all that don't know, me and TT work together. at the fantastic establishment of Zaxby's. Um, but we had gotten permission to film inside of the Zaxby's, which was interesting to say the least.
A little bit.
Seeing the building in the middle of the night, but also with that, we had a couple of our coworkers acting in it, and finding actors in the middle of Indiana is not that easy, is it?
No, it is not.
Yeah, it kind of sucks. You got to kind of know some people. That's
Yeah.
getting back to the connecting and the community part of it.
Like, there's the problem with Indiana is that Indiana is literally a flyover state. Nobody gives a shit about Indiana.
Big facts.
So you got people that live in like Florida and California, and they're the ones that are doing like all the acting and being in like movies and shit.
Right.
While people in Indiana, we're just sitting here eating corn every day, you know.
I mean, corn do be good.
It do be smacking, but after a while, you got to get out there, you know.
Yeah, you gotta eat something else than corn. Um, but have you looked into like little movie, what you call it, like little movie festivals? I wouldn't even want to say festivals, but like where people bring their short films and stuff. You know what I'm talking?
Like the Indie Film Fest and all that.
Yeah, I'm sure they have one for like Franklin at the Art Craft or something like that.
Yeah, I looked into it. Um, I signed up for the Indie Film Fest announcements, so next year they'll send an announcement out to when I can put my film in and stuff.
I'm about to say, I think you released the night shift a little bit.
It was like 3 days before they started doing the Indie Film Fest.
Yeah, I'm about to say it was like right before it happened. But like even if you don't even have something into it, I feel like it'd be worth it just to go to the art craft or wherever they're holding it at, just to connect with people.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah.
I'll probably go to one like next year or whenever the next one is.
I'm about to say
probably
I'm
go to
honestly
it.
not even sure when they happen. But it'd be definitely worth looking into like the art craft or something like that.
Yeah.
But a lot of the shit in the music industry is about like connections and who you know. Because I can go and play some like an open mic, but if I don't know nobody that's there, they're not gonna really care about my spot in the lineup or what's going on around me while I'm playing.
It's also kind of hard to get like how would I say that? I want to say financial reinsurance, but like people to help with like
To make it feel like it's worth making the movie.
yeah.
I can understand that, but like in the beginning, I feel like most of it is really doing it for the love of making movies and stuff. Because like a lot of me and Kyle's, I don't even want to say me and Kyle, but Kyle's first movies and stuff on YouTube are just like little stupid shorts or something. Like Frederico. You ever seen? Yeah, check it out. Check it out if you ain't seen it on the YouTubes. I think he changed his name, but just type in Kyle Baston Fred dash Rico. It's comedy gold. Back when me and him was like 16 years old. But yeah, it's just like a lot of day in the life, even stuff like that can really boost your confidence not only in what you can do with the camera, but like what you can do with editing and stuff like that. Because I guess you could pay somebody to edit your vlogs and stuff, but I feel like it'd be more beneficial to you to learn how to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's honestly not that hard. You did pretty good with the trailer and stuff. You just needed to have a little help with the timing, but that's all. And it's never bad to get somebody else's opinion on something, honestly.
Yeah. Also, I was gonna say something, but I just totally forgot what I was gonna say.
The story of my life, child.
Oh, I know what I was gonna say now. So, For any of you out there, just letting you know, filmmaking is a great choice, but you also have to be ready to just sit in front of a computer for hours upon hours to write a script and to edit and to do everything else. It's not just going around and filming. You gotta set up, you gotta do post, you gotta do everything.
A lot of behind the scenes work.
Yeah, a lot of these YouTubers, they just show you the filming part of it. They don't show you any of the backstory behind of how it got to that point.
Right. That's what I always found so interesting about media, not even only in YouTube and movies and stuff, but a lot of media is behind the scenes shit that you never see. Like I can't tell you how many hours I've spent on one song. Like I have songs in my iPad saved right now that I've literally spent like months and months just being like, it needs something else.
Yeah.
It just needs something else, but I don't know what that something else is. And so it'll just sit there for months and months, and then one day I'm like, oh my God, it needs a little ding at the end, you know?
Yeah.
And that'll just set it off, and I'm like, oh, that's so good.
A lot of being an artist is a lot of behind the scenes work.
Yeah, it definitely is. A lot of I must say, one of the things that I love about music is that you can take it like as slow as you want. Like as long as you're not dropping an album once every 17 years, you know, you can stay like relevant.
Or not forcing yourself to drop one every month.
Right. And I feel like there are artists out there that drop songs so frequently that I'm like, this one wasn't even good.
Yeah.
Like you could have spent 2 more months and working on the next song or making this song even better.
But I kind of get where they're coming from, because like the studios are like, we need to pump out this music so you can make more money, and it's like,
I'm about to say that's also one of the things that I love about being an independent artist is that I don't really have anybody on my back worrying about what I'm doing or how I'm doing or if I have a song ready to go next month or, you know.
yeah.
But on the other hand, a lot of the promotion of your shit is also much harder because you don't have a label. So like I'll only really draw like 100, 200 people a song. When like if I just signed to like some small record label, I could get a couple thousand every month, you know.
Yeah.
It's one of those. What you saying?
I was gonna say that's the same thing with movies. Being an independent filmmaker and being a studio filmmaker, it's the same thing.
It's a little discouraging at first, you know, like when you spent 3 months on a project and you got like 45 listens on a song. I can't tell you how depressing that shit is, but like I'm gonna always make music. I love music. I love making music. I love the whole process. So I don't think I would ever stop. Like even if I didn't release music out into the public, I don't think I would ever stop making music. It seems like such a cathartic activity to me.
Yeah. Being a artist in any way is very difficult, being an indie developer or whatever. And being in this, like, having a studio behind you pushing your shit for you to make you more money. Yeah, that's good and all, but I would rather make what I want to make than what they want me to make.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I feel like a lot of movie makers, like directors and producers and stuff, kind of get pushed into a certain direction in the industry.
Yeah.
Like you'll see, like with the whole, who was the person that did the newest Suicide Squad or whatever it was? James Gunn or something like that.
Yeah, I think
wasn't
so,
it? But like the whole thing that happened with the whatever director that was, I think it was James Gunn. But how he pretty much was like blacklisted from the industry, and then the fans were the people that saved him. You know, like they were like, we want him to make this movie. You know, whatever happened, I don't know the ins and outs of it, but
there's a newer movie out called The Whale. The main actor in that film, I forget what his name is.
I've heard a lot of controversy around this. Some people say they love it. Some people say they hate it. I still haven't seen it.
But I don't know what he what the main actor or the main actor in that film. I don't know like what his whole backstory behind everything was, but I heard that he was like blacklisted from film for a long ass time, and then people were like, "We want him to come back."
Oh, so he's blacklisted before The Whale?
I think so. Yeah,
Interesting.
that's what I heard. I don't.
Isn't The Whale on Netflix?
I don't know actually.
I think it is. I think Sage said she watched it they said they watched it the other day. I'm honestly not sure. But I've heard a lot of controversy around that. I've never even seen the main actor from that. What else was he in?
Um, he was really popular like back in the late '90s, early 2000s. I forget what his name is. Here, wait, look it up real quick.
I'm about to say I've heard a lot of people say that it just brings up a lot of issues around like body image and a lot of things that are really popular in society right now. And I've heard it's very interesting.
Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser. Why does that sound probably from Fraser?
He was from He was born in Indiana.
What else has he been in?
He's been in tons of films, but he was in The Whale, The Mummy, George of the Jungle, The Mummy Returns.
Let me see a picture of him. Like in The Whale, is that actually him or is he wearing a fat suit?
He's I mean he's gotten chubby, but I saw that like behind the scenes they put a fat suit on him, but he's gotten a little chubby.
I would imagine
also.
it's a fat suit because that would be ridiculous to take on for a role.
Like with the guy who played Joker, Joaquin
Phoenix.
when he like lost hundreds of pounds just
Bro,
to
Joaquin
play that.
Phoenix is one of those actors that blows my fucking mind, bro. The way that he gets into a role, it is like some of the best shit that I've ever seen. Did you like the Joker?
Yeah. Aren't they coming out with a newer one or a new one?
I heard
soon?
something about it, but I don't know if they actually are or not. Oh, so he's kind of bigger, but he's not
Yeah.
he's not what the Whale is. That's crazy.
But that's what he used to look like.
Oh, dang.
But
He used to
yeah,
be
I heard
kinda
that
fit.
he got like blacklisted from from acting, but I don't know what it was, why he was.
That's
I don't know what
interesting.
happened, but
Interesting. I'm about
Yeah.
to say I don't even really know anything about him, honestly. But
all right, hot take. One actor I can't stand,
hit me with it.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
I can understand it, honestly. I feel like
Or
all of
John Cena.
is John Cena really in any movies these days?
He was in Peacemaker.
I don't think I've seen that one. Is it a movie or is it a TV show?
It's a show based on the Suicide Squad.
Interesting. I don't think I've seen that one.
But yeah, him and The Rock, I can't stand him.
I'm about to say I feel like most of the Rock's movies are just kind of him making the movie just to make that money because you know he's gonna make so much money off of a movie, no matter what it is.
But what irritates me is that most people like there's so many actors out there that are pushing to be in major films, and then The Rock comes in, and it's just like, oh, it's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Let me sign him.
Yeah, it's just him and Kevin Hart in some movie.
Yeah, I mean, I like Kevin Hart, but Dwayne is just he. Ugh.
I can understand it. A lot of his movies are him and Kevin Hart, which I find hilarious. The two of them, like even off cam, like off of the movie set, like in an interview or something, they're just fucking hilarious together. One Kevin Hart movie that I love. Oh, I got to sneeze.
Right along.
Ride Along. Yeah, I'm glad you knew it. Oh, I'm so glad you knew it. But yeah, Ride Along is one of my fucking favorite Kevin Hart movies. It is so fucking funny.
Him and Ice Cube.
Didn't they make a Ride Along too?
I think so. Maybe.
I don't know. But Ride Along was fucking hilarious. That's hilarious as fuck that you guessed that first. But while we're talking about Kevin Hart and comedians and comedy, what is one of your favorite comedy movies?
Comedy movies. Are we talking like specifically comedy, or like it has comedy in the movie, or it's funny because it's so bad.
A movie that's branded as a comedy.
Shoot. I haven't seen that many comedies that I can remember.
Oh my god, okay. So I'll go first then while you're thinking. My favorite comedy of all time is RV with Robin Williams. I watched that movie so much as a child. I can literally like quote that entire movie. It is one of my favorite movies of all time. I love Robin Williams as an actor and I love him as a comedian. He is one of the funniest dudes that I've ever seen on camera and it fucking kills me.
Robin Williams, there's a lot of his movies that I've seen, but
Mrs. Doubtfire, RV, wow, that's
there's
sad.
so many
Those are the only
choices.
ones.
There's so many choices, but
Flubber.
Flubber was a good movie.
Flubber was a banger.
Hook,
Hook. Oh my god, Hook is so good.
Night at the Museum,
Was he in
Aladdin.
that? Oh yeah, he was Teddy Roosevelt or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Robots.
Robots.
The movie about robots.
The animated movie?
Yeah, about the robots.
He was in that?
Yeah.
What? Who did he play?
Here wait.
That's hilarious. I never even knew he was in that movie.
Fender Pinwheel.
No, he didn't,
Yeah,
bruh.
he
That's
did.
fucking fried. Oh my god, the more you know. That's hilarious. Do you listen to much stand-up comedy? You follow many comedians?
I don't. Not really.
That's pretty much all I follow is comedians, podcasts, and stuff like that.
R.I.P. Robin Williams though.
Oh god.
But apparently he was in Jumanji too.
I think he was in the original one.
Yeah, the first one. But yeah, there's so many comedy movies that I've probably seen, but I can't remember.
Would you ever think about writing a comedy? Or do you feel like since you don't watch too much comedy, you feel like it would be one of those genres that is just a little too far out of your grasp?
I think it's just coming up with all the jokes and stuff. I'm not really that great at making jokes.
I can
I'm more
understand
on
that.
the spot person,
Yeah.
but
I'm about to say that's 85% of my comedy
Uh,
is just somebody will do something,
yeah.
say a little quip on it, But
But I don't think I could ever just like write out a whole film of comedy.
what do you think about movies that are like comedy specials that come out in the movie theaters? What's your opinion on that?
Comedy
was hot.
specials?
Comedy specials that come out in the theaters, like Fluffy had a couple, and Kevin Hart had a couple.
I mean, I get it because that like gets more people to see them, but I feel like they could just throw it on to like a Netflix or
Like they sell it to Netflix and
Yeah.
make about the same amount.
yeah.
I could understand that.
But I feel like in the movies, it's just taking up spots for other films that could be shown.
I can totally understand that too. I feel like a lot of the comedians nowadays are not a lot of them.
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
I wouldn't call that a comedy, but it is.
It's funny,
At
but
some
it's
sorts.
definitely not a comedy. It's
Agreed to disagree.
it's comedic, but it's not a comedy. I haven't seen Beetlejuice in so long. Honestly, I couldn't even tell you what happens in the movie. But
All I
I'll
can
give it
remember
to
is
you.
them dancing.
all I remember
That's
is,
about it.
isn't there a scene where they're like sitting at a table and something? I forget.
Yeah,
what
that's when
even
they
the
start
fuck happened.
dancing.
Yeah, that's all I remember from fucking Beetlejuice.
Bruh, he's probably part of the reason that I got into filming was Tim Burton. Was just his films because they were so like different.
I'm about to say they're marked up as horrors, but I feel like they're not even scary. They're kind of like
They're
like
comedy. They're like comedy horrors mixed
Yeah.
with like adventure mixed with whatever. He's just a mix of everything.
it almost is a mix of everything.
But he is, in my opinion, Tim Burton is one of the best directors to ever step foot on planet Earth.
It's very interesting to watch him because I don't even. How the fuck do you even direct like an animated movie? Well, I guess his are claymation, huh? So it's kind of like
No, he's done claymation, but he's also done like animation, like with the paper and everything.
Coraline and was that Tim Burton Coraline?
No,
Or what was the more recent animated one that he did? Did he do Frankenweenie?
he did Frankenweenie. He did Nightmare Before Christmas. He's done Dumbo. He did Beetlejuice.
What was that recent one? I don't. I feel like he's done a.
He directed Wednesday. The TV
I remember
show.
that's what I was about to bring up. That it's interesting to see the translations between Wednesday and like all of his animated stuff that he's done.
But Tim Burton is
James and the Giant Peach. That's not recent, but that's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, that's a great film.
It is a great one. I think that's one of the first Tim Burton ones that I saw because I remember watching it as in like grade school, like second grade or something like that. But I enjoyed claymation style like that, like Wallace and Gromit or the Tim Burton movies like that. I think it's
Yeah.
one of the more interesting mediums to work with.
One of my all-time favorite movies is, I know some people are going to be cringed by this, but The Nightmare Before Christmas is one of my favorites because it was like one of the first Tim Burton films I saw, and it was during Halloween. So I was like sitting in the house with like all the Halloween decorations, just watching it. I was just like, amazing.
I'm about to say The Nightmare Before Christmas is one of those movies that I never really know when to watch it because it's called The Nightmare Before Christmas. So I'm like, do we watch it at Christmas? Or do we watch it at Halloween?
I usually watch it at Halloween because it's more. The only time he goes to, or the only time he is part of Christmas is when he goes to the Christmas Island or Christmas whatever.
Right.
But it's more based in the Halloween town.
It's been so long since I've seen that movie, but I remember it being good. I remember it also being like one of those movies that's like almost too creepy to watch as a kid.
Yeah.
Like Courage the Cowardly Dog. Like
Yeah.
that show is amazing, but I could never watch it as a kid because I'd watch 2 episodes and be like, all right, so I'm not sleeping tonight.
Yeah, Courage the Cowardly Dog was a show that I would like watch half an episode on when I was a kid.
Speaking of blah blah blah, what's your opinion on Hotel Transylvania?
It's pretty good.
It is pretty good. It is pretty good. It was one of those movies I think that I wouldn't like, but then I watched it and I was like, this is kind of funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like anything to be crazy about when you're an adult, but like if I was a kid, I would have been like, this is fucking cool.
Yeah, you're not gonna see me in the line for Hotel Transylvania 2, but
Yeah,
or whatever. They're probably on like
they're on
Hotel-
3 or 4
Yeah,
or
I'm
something.
about
I
to
don't
say.
know.
They're probably 17 Hotel Transylvanias, but I'll watch it when it comes on Netflix.
Yeah.
But speaking of watching movies when they come on to Netflix, I feel like most movies nowadays they don't really swing for like an original view. They're recently just now making live action Lilo and Stitch, live action every movie from our childhood, dog.
That
You
is
can't-
so irritating.
Oh God, I can't tell you
And
how irritating it is to see all of the movies from my childhood getting made into live action movies. Like,
And that aren't even that good.
even if I liked it,
As in, like, they're good as animated films, but they're not good as live action.
I can find it
Like-
interest.
Like Aladdin, the live action Aladdin was nowhere compared to the original.
I haven't even seen the live action Aladdin. I kind of given up on them because me and Sage watched the live action Lion King the other day.
Oh my god, that
And
is
it was
so
it,
bad.
it was all right. Like it wasn't even good. Like it wasn't. It was all right. I didn't care for it.
the reason that I think that they're doing this is because they want to change the outlook on racial inequality in the Disney movies.
Yeah, they are kind of doing that kind
But
of shit.
half of the population grew up on all that stuff. So I mean, changing it for the new kids is like you're just throwing away like everybody else's experience with those films because of the new kids.
Exactly. Like you could literally sit your kid down on Disney Plus and watch all of the fucking original ones
Yeah.
and have the exact same experience as a child. Like even if the parents haven't seen the live action one, I feel like it's not even worth it if you could show the child the original one.
Like the girl that's playing the new mermaid in the live action irritates me
Why does it irritate you?
because she's black.
Fuck them black guys. Black women's.
She's black and it makes no sense. You're just changing the skin color of an actor or you're changing the skin color of a character because you don't like the original because it was racist.
I understand that kind of shit. I don't understand why they have to fucking change shit like that. I get it that like good for this chick to get an opportunity to be in a Disney movie, but Ariel was always some white redheaded chick.
Exactly.
That's part of the character. Like if some chick in dreadlocks was the original character,
It'd be a chick in dreadlocks.
then cast a black chick as the character. But I honestly don't understand why they got to do that kind of shit. Just being woke in the movies now it's gotten to a point where
it doesn't even make watching movies fun anymore.
It doesn't. I must say, it doesn't add to the story at all. It's just another
Yeah.
contentious point to have somebody be pissed because the Ariel is black. You know, like it's just something that people have to have a opinion on.
Like I get it, yeah, we need to stop racism in this country, but
Oh yeah, all that shit is valid and everything, but
it's just in film. Film was made to break boundaries. Was made to just say fuck this. I want to do what I want to do, and I want to make what I want to make. And you trying to force racism and sexism and being overweight into a film is just makes the film 10 times worse than it should be.
especially when it's based on a previous film.
Yeah.
Like if they had came out with a mermaid movie that was completely unrelated to the entirety of the Disney, like if it was just like Mermaids the movie and it was some black chick as the mermaid, nobody would have fucking cared.
Exactly.
Like it wouldn't have even been a thing. You'd be like, "Oh, you seen the trailer for Mermaids?" You'd be like, "Oh, it looks okay." But since it's the Little Mermaid, everybody's gonna have a fucking opinion about it.
I'm just irritated with all this wokeness and cause wokeness, we need this, we need that, we need to stop racism and all that shit. But you're putting it into art when art was meant to push boundaries and it's like comedy. Like people hate Dave Chappelle because he's racist. It's Dave Chappelle. He's a comedian. That's what his job is to push the boundaries.
I'm about to say a lot of times
being
in comedy,
inappropriate.
Yeah, a lot of times in comedy, it's knowing that you shouldn't say something and then saying it anyways. Like
Exactly.
the reason why, like, I have no problem with coming up to you and being like, "You fucking bitch ass, beep 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 beep." I'm a,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That hard R.
Yeah.
I hit you with it.
Yeah.
It's because I know I shouldn't be saying it, and that shit is fucking funny just to see everybody else's look and be like, "Oh my god, did he really just say that?"
Exactly.
But outside of
but-
comedy, I feel like there is a time and a place to be woke and to be fucking civil rights, hoo-ha, flist up in the air.
Yeah.
But I feel like they're just kind of taking a syringe and fucking injecting it into everybody.
I heard that they're also moving it into like candies and stuff. Because there was supposedly like a whole pack of M&Ms. Like there's a whole pack that's just branded as like green and brown M&Ms. I was like,
The female character M&Ms,
Yeah.
that's fucking hilarious.
I was like, what the fuck is this? You're literally just ruining a childhood because you want to fucking put some stupid ass racism.
it's always got to
prejudice
be
bullshit.
something. That's fucking fried. I haven't even seen that.
It's so dumb.
That is hilarious.
And the whole backlash of the green Eminem and how she's too sexualized.
Oh my god, nigga!
Did you hear about that?
No, I didn't.
This was like a while
Tell
ago.
me about this green
This was a
M&M.
while
How
ago.
motherfuckers have been getting off to this green M&M.
This was like in 2000, I want to say like 15, 16, somewhere around there.
What the fuck?
But people were like, she's too sexualized. We need to stop with doing this. And like Eminem was like got rid of her for like a couple of years, and then now she's back. But
That's fucking hilarious. I did not
it
even
was
know
so
that.
dumb.
That's fucking fried. Oh. That's actually hilarious. I forget what the fuck I was gonna say. I really don't know what I was gonna say.
But I also hate people that destroy history because of it.
I can
Because of
understand
racism and all that shit.
that. Yeah.
Like when they were tearing down like all the statues to like famous generals and shit.
I mean, I can kind of understand it, but
Yeah,
like,
I can understand it a little bit, but like, it's history.
it's history. But you know, fuck the white man, as we say. So fuck the right half of myself.
Fuck the right half of myself.
But yeah, I really don't remember what the fuck. Oh, have you heard the thing about the Bud Lights?
No. Oh, how they were like supporting like
They
gay
put
rights or whatever, and
the trans women
Yeah.
on the
yeah, I heard
the
about
cans of Bud Light. That shit is crazy.
that. It's just,
I mean, get your brand deal, get your money, but I don't understand it. It didn't seem like the company that matched up with supporting a trans activist.
you know what else? There's something else that irritates me.
Hit me with it. It's gonna be the last thing, and then we're gonna wrap this hoe up.
The reason for or the Black Lives Matter movement and everything.
What about it?
The people that were running that and how much money they took away from Black lives and everything.
Yep.
Not trying to throw some heat, but come on now.
Okay. The official stance of the Two Tone Podcast is that we believe Black Lives Matter. They do. But the organization of Black Lives Matter is monetarily based, so I'm not gonna support that. If you're making money off of motherfuckers rioting and legislation and shit passed, I'm not cool with that.
Also, Black Lives Matter. All lives matter. Everything matters. But don't bring it into art. Stop that shit. Let us just make our art. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. If you like it, you like it. It's art. It's meant to push boundaries. Stop pushing your shit on us. Okay? We're artists. We make what we want.
Let me do what I'm gonna do, because I'm gonna do it anyways.
Exactly.
Fuck your mother. Fuck your brother. Thank you for watching the Two Tone Podcast.